Sudol, and welcome to PreciousMetalsInvesting.org. I have the pleasure of having with me today Paul Mladjenovic, the author of Precious Metals Investing for Dummies, also several other stock investment books, and a psychic. He's been accurately predicting the silver moves for quite some time. He's a follower of the precious metals and knows what he's talking about. He recently wrote an article that was widely quoted in several financial papers, and it's my pleasure to welcome him here today.
Yeah, well, thank you, Ted. Probably the first thing I want to address, in this video, and of course there'll be separate videos as well, is the pullback in silver. As people know, silver hit certainly a nominal high in terms of the spot price on April 25th, where silver was $49.82. So it was only a few dimes away, basically, from the $50 mark. And I've been predicting $50 silver for years now. So for me, that's close enough, Ted, right? What did I say? Close enough is good for hand grenades and horseshoes. Probably good enough for forecasting things like the silver price. But then, of course, people witnessed that it plateaued there a moment, and then it had the price had briefly fallen very sharply, very sharply. I think it went down as low as a very sharp move all the way down to roughly 32 and change. So roughly a 34-35% correction.
Right.
And a lot of people viewed it. Now it's rebounded since. It's around like 35, 36 as of like right now. I'm talking to you, May 13th, Friday the 13th. Okay, but lucky day. But in any case, so people think, has the quote-unquote bubble popped in silver? And again, it's people don't understand what bubbles are. This is a sharp correction. The reasons that silver went down had no reflection whatsoever about its changes in usage. Supply, still tight. Demand still growing. So this is just a case of many people, speculators, selling their positions, and of course, in a temporary window of time when you have more sellers than buyers, well, of course, the price is going to go down. I was expecting a pullback. Not that I sold off tons of positions in that venue. I did some defensive things with this, but as far as I'm concerned, I was going to view it as what is anyway a normal seasonal time for it to be pulling back anyway. And to a great extent, probably I think the big trigger why it happened in that venue in that way was, of course, over a 2-week span from April 25th up until the first week of May, the COMEX exchange, the people at CME Group who run the COMEX, NYMEX, where all the silver futures are traded, had raised the margin requirements on opening up a position in silver futures 5 times in 2 weeks, like less than 10 trading days, which is unprecedented. They've never done that before. But now a lot of people are speculating on why. Some people give it, a nefarious spin. Some people give it, just a normal spin. I think no matter who you are, the bottom line is that when you're increasing the costs of participating in something, when you're increasing the cost, then of course that's going to depress that particular activity. So even though the people at the exchange mention about raising the requirements as technically considered a neutral event, by and large, really it's not that neutral. It's more because let's face it, if you're making it more difficult for people to be long silver, to buy into silver, then of course you're going to have a temporary pullback. Because you're also going to have situations where they increase the margin requirements, the maintenance requirements, in addition to how much they put up as what's called a performance bond with money opening up positions. So if you're telling people who already own these positions in their accounts that they're going to be paying more money, to hold on to these positions, then of course, no matter how you view it, you're encouraging sales, and I realize for them it's the issue of quelling volatility and things of this nature. Although ironically, raising the margin requirements just ironically had added to the volatility.
Right. And as you said, it was unprecedented to make so many changes so quickly. in the margin requirements. And as you said, both here and also in the article, there has been no fundamental change in the demand for silver, the production of silver, or the intrinsic value of silver. It's really just, as you said, some people say it's nefarious manipulation of the markets, and other people say it's just something that needed to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I have people that I respect who view some of those things negatively and in a disturbing fashion, and I respect that. And I have people who look at that and say this is part of the function of a futures exchange, and I respect that too. But either way, it's a reality you deal with as how it goes. And so what do people do? Well, first of all, if you're into silver futures and options on futures, of course it's a speculative venue regardless. So always be speculating only a portion of your assets. But otherwise, in terms of silver investments, again, not speculating, but silver investments, it is just another great buying opportunity. Again, because as I mentioned in the article, silver is going to keep on zigzagging upward. I'm on record as saying that silver will go to 100. To me, it's not a question of if it'll go to 100. My question is, when will it go? Hell, it could happen this year. It could happen next month. Who's to say? And I also know that there are people who report back to me and tell me that part of the reason why the margin requirements were increased was that because supply is getting very tight on silver down at the exchange. And so a lot of people who run those, these things got a little nervous as well. That's probably part of the issue as well. I don't see any doubt about that, because the bottom line is that demand for silver keeps on increasing, and supply is just not keeping pace with that. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm agreeing with Ted as he made that remark, nothing fundamentally has changed with the silver market. Supply and demand is great. The outlook is, I think, superb. And so people, if you don't want to buy anymore, then just ride it on through. Just don't do any panic selling. And just understand that typically around this time there's pullbacks anyway. There's some times of the year there's rallies, sometimes of the year there's pullbacks. But look, I've been on this silver bull. You and I, we probably even talked about it back when it was like roughly $5 or $6 an ounce.
Exactly.
And so with all the crashes and corrections going on and the pullbacks and the anxiety and the this and the that and what's a bear market rally, what's a correction, what's a bubble, what's not a bubble, and all of that, silver has gone to approximately $5 an ounce to where it is now, which is approximately $36 an ounce. And so like sixfold. From 5, 6 years ago.
Right, and one of the things that you've always said, and we've always said here at preciousmetalsinvesting.org, is that there will be short-term volatility. But if you're willing to invest for the long term and just ride out these short-term corrections, that you will profit from it. And one of the really important points you made in your article is you went and did the historical research.
Oh yeah, that took a while.
Pointed out all of the corrections that silver has had
since 2004.
Since 2004, some of them have been, pretty substantial. But in the long term, the march for silver has always been up, and people that are in it for the long term are profitable.
Exactly. I mean, if I thought the fundamentals changed drastically, then look, I would certainly been out by now. But the fundamentals for silver look strong for a long time to come, and I'm not talking about long in terms of months, more likely years to go. The best of the bull market in silver is still in front of us. It's not behind us.
Right.
So plan accordingly.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much for visiting us here at preciousmetalsinvesting.org. My name is Ted Sudol, and I have with me Paul Mladjenovic, the author of Precious Metals Investing for Dummies. He also has his own website, theravencapitalist.com.
Raven Capitalist. So we'll see them in the next video, Ted.
Thank you very much.